Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us and supporting independent media, the FanStream Sports Network, Tampa Bay here. My man, IndyCar Tim, sipping out of our FanStream Sports. Boy, you've got all the merch there. In our Dallas affiliate, our Columbus folks are waking up this morning thinking that Ohio State is the greatest team in college football. But I got news for you.
Pretty good.
The Florida State University. University of South Florida.
All right.
Yeah, baby. The only team with 2 ranked wins.
All right. Come on.
Byron Brown for Heisman, baby. Tommy Castellanos. Let's go.
Let's settle down here a minute.
Am I jumping the gun?
Can't do that to me this early in the morning.
I need to tap the brakes a little bit.
With your shock jock going on here.
Woo! I'm ready to go this morning. We got a great show for you. Scott Reynolds is going to join us at 10:30 for the Pewter Report take on the win that was in Atlanta. Man, I went over the tape yesterday. We're going to play check the tape here in just a second. There's so many things that were revealed. This is what's great about games is you finally start to learn something about your team. Yeah. You know, the preseason and training camp, all that stuff helps, and we learn valuable things, but not until you see a real game do you really know. I mean, because it's the ultimate test, man. That's what makes football so freaking great. I was thinking about that last night, watching the Monday night game and the Sunday night game. I mean, and the Bucs game. It is the ultimate test, civilized test of humanity. Obviously, war, being in a battlefield is the ultimate test of humanity, right? When you talk about strategy, toughness, survival, that's the ultimate, right? It's life and death. Second to that you can see on earth, to me, is football. It's so much about your toughness and your mental toughness. It tests your mettle in every single way, from endurance to strength to mental strength to focus. I mean, all those things come into play at its peak, especially in the fourth quarter when it's coming down to it, right? It's coming down to it because there's so much at stake. There's so much money at stake for teams, for players, everything. It's all just wraps into one onto the football field. And that's where the intensity, when you really think about it in the macro, that's where all the intensity comes in. And we wait all freaking summer for this to happen, to actually see what's going to happen. And then you see it play out and you either win or you lose. And that's why it's the ultimate freaking reality show. Did I kind of capture that? I wasn't going to go there, but I just felt like going there.
You just did.
Yeah. And that's why we freaking love football. You know, next time your wife asks you why this is so damn important, tell her what I just heard. Take that clip and show her.
Or just go get you a wife that likes football.
What's that?
Or just go get you a wife that likes football. If your wife doesn't like football, get rid of her. It's just a marriage. It's not a contract. Come on. Go get somebody worthwhile if your wife doesn't watch football.
To see that knows something about, a Tampa 2 defense. Hell yeah.
I know a lot about marriage, JP. I've been married 3 times.
Yeah, trial and error, my friend. That's the best teacher, clearly, for you. So anyway, going through the tape, it's exhilarating watching these guys play in these moments and make the plays that they make and the effort that is out there. It was really, really from both teams. And I think we saw that Sunday night with the Bills-Ravens game, which was just insane. Last night's game, I mean, boy, the Bears looked absolutely unbeatable at one point, and the Vikings couldn't get out of their own way. And then suddenly, J.J. McCarthy gets some confidence, and geez, Pete's, that's a totally different human being in the second half.
Yeah, how about that, by the way?
3 fourth-quarter touchdown drives for the Vikings, and McCarthy's throwing dimes and running all over the place. Like, wow.
The first quarterback in the history of the NFL to throw 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter in his debut game.
That's good, right?
Nobody's ever done that before.
I did not know that.
You know who didn't do it? Caleb Williams didn't do it.
No, he did not. And by the way, have you read?
Think he might be the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
Have you read I think it's Tyler Dunn did this piece on Caleb Williams and the Bears last year. Have you read that?
No.
I read some excerpts yesterday.
Oh, about Williams? Yeah.
I read some excerpts yesterday.
About Williams? Yeah.
Yeah, a few excerpts came out a couple weeks ago, but the whole thing dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
Right in time for the game.
Yeah, how damning is that?
Holy crap. I mean, he went out and played really well last night. I thought Caleb Williams played really well.
In the first half.
Yeah. First half. He played, I saw him in preseason. I'm like, all right, let's see when these defenses get a little bit more complicated. But he was still impressive, I thought.
But Brian Flores, to his credit, he made some massive halftime adjustments on him.
He did.
And it showed, man. And you know what? That's part of the growing pains of a quarterback. You're going to go out.
100%.
You see a defense when you're young like that. You see a defense and you kind of figure it out, and then they throw something else at you. You don't have the experience or the knowledge to adapt that fast.
Yeah.
And no matter how your coaches help you and what they tell you, you don't have time to adjust to that because he's probably never seen that before, what they did to him at the second half.
Yeah.
So, credit to Brian Flores. He's a heck of a defensive coach, man. I know the whole history with him and the Dolphins and the lawsuit with the NFL and all that, but
yeah, whatever.
Man, they're lucky to have him as the DC up in Minnesota.
Yeah, and he's going to get another chance to coach a team.
Will.
Hopefully.
He will.
Hopefully. It's going to take a brave owner, honestly.
Maybe in Chicago.
Yeah, but he's going to I think he's going to get another shot. No question about it. So, yeah, these games, I thought week one were just really, really good, especially the primetime games. And the Buccaneers game was just, that was going over the tape yesterday. There was a lot that was revealed. First thing, and we'll get into this with Scott Reynolds and TJ Rives as we go through the day. But there was a lot that was revealed, and there was some really interesting things and nothing more interesting. And by the way, we're going to get to the Rays stuff. We got Rays, a very interesting article yesterday in The Athletic about the ownership group. So I'll get to that in just a few seconds here. And also new stadium. So we're getting to all that. So hang in there, guys. But I want to do just a little thing on the Bucs here. My first blush after watching the game was the offensive line wasn't that great, and I totally retract that. The offensive line, I thought, for the circumstances, played really well. The numbers were a little skewed, and you know why the numbers are skewed? And this is a bit of it's a bit of a bad trend for the Buccaneers. They didn't have a lot of offensive plays. I mean, your offensive numbers really get truncated when you don't have a lot of plays. They only had 56 plays because dadgummit, the freaking Falcons' time of possession was 10 minutes more than the Buccaneers. And over the game, that's a lot. That is a lot. I'm looking at some of these drives that the Falcons had. I mean, they were at 13-play drive, 11-play drive, the 18-play drive, an 8-play drive. I mean, that's a lot. Now, the Bucs had a 16-play drive, but for the most part, time of possession was in Atlanta's favor, and the Bucs only had 56 offensive plays. They only had 260 yards, but they only had 56 offensive plays. The Falcons had 71. So, part of your numbers get skewed. I mean, their rushing numbers the Buccaneers' rushing numbers weren't terrible. They had 101 yards, and they had 3 chunk plays of over 10 yards rushing called back for penalties.
Yeah.
And so that's that, if you go 130 yards, 125 yards, suddenly it starts to look a little bit better. Average gain, 4.6 yards, not terrible offensive plays. So, that skewed it a little bit, but one of the reasons that Bucky didn't have a good day and some of the others didn't have a good day was, they just didn't have a whole lot of plays, and that's going to affect you.
So you mentioned the 71 plays to 56 plays, and that's a valid argument here. But if you look at total drives, they had the same amount of total drives at 10. Each team only had 10 drives.
Yeah.
Now those numbers are skewed of the plays because you had the Falcons had an 18-play drive right before he scored the touchdown, right near the end of the game. So that skews those numbers a little bit, but it's what you do with those drives. And if you only got 56 plays out of 10 drives, that's still kind of on your offense.
Right.
But it does take away to what you said, it does take away the opportunities for your guys to make plays.
Well, and the Bucs had 10 possessions total. You're right. But they also had one at the end of the half that was 3 and -5 that they just they didn't try to score. Right. And then they had one at the end that was just a kneel down.
Yeah.
So they only had 8 real possessions in the game. And remember against Washington how many they had in the loss? 7.
Yeah.
So when you don't get any turnovers and you're allowing the other team to have 11 and 18 play drives back to back late in the game and a 13 play drive as well, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage, especially when your team is explosive offensively. I mean, that's 56 to 71 plays. Okay, it's 15 plays. Well, when you have an explosive offense, that's 15 more chances to get a touchdown. That's 15 more chances for Bucky to break one. That's 15 more chances for Abuka, 15 more chances for Evans, 15 more, for Rush. All these guys.
Yeah.
So, defensively, they've got to get off the field. That is something that we saw in the playoff game, and it's something we saw. They got to get turnovers, and they got to get off the field. I'm going to come away looking at, you only gave up 20 points. Good. You only gave up 20 points. You're good in the red area. You had a missed field goal. Okay, good. But you got it, you just can't be on the field that long. And you got to get the ball back to your offense. At some point, you got to set. And there were points when he reverted back to that soft zone, which drives me absolutely nuts. We did not see the aggressive, in-your-face, corners always in press that we thought we were going to see. And I'll be interested to talk to Scott and TJ about this and see what they kind of saw. I think part of it was in the first, you rushed 6. Bijan got out the gate and went 50 yards. And that was what I was afraid of. But that happens when you rush 6 and there's nobody in, right. You get one missed tackle and he's out the gate. All of a sudden you're like, oh, all right, let's go back to zone so that doesn't happen again. So
yeah, don't overreact.
But he did. I don't know if it's overreact. Look, they won the game. I don't want to bitch too much, but I also don't want to completely change the narratives that should be talked about just because you won a game that maybe you shouldn't have. If Koo makes that kick, they go into overtime with all the momentum, very similar to last year's game. The Bucs probably lose this game, and then what are we talking about? The sky's falling, right? Everything's, well, why did we change the offensive line? Why did we do this? Why did we do that? Blah, 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 right? Everything, when you win the game, it totally tinges it in a different flavor. And we shouldn't look at it that way. It's kind of like process. You don't look at the outcome. You still have to look at what happened in the game. And that's what happened in the game. The defense did not get off the field. They allowed too many long drives, and they allowed too much possession time. And the offense just wasn't as efficient as it needs to be. A lot of that is on, Baker. He self-admitted he was rusty. He missed a couple throws. He hits the one to Otten, which was a touchdown, and they just miscommunicated there. It wasn't he thought he was going to go back inside, and he turned to the outside. It's, they just read it differently, but that should have been a touchdown. In week 3, week 4, maybe that's a touchdown, right? When they get on the same page. There were, a bunch of times when he threw the ball downfield or decided to run when he probably should have dumped it down to the backs and get Rachaad White and Bucky out there in space and let them do their thing. He had kind of admitted to that. When you go back and look at the tape, that's what you really see. Offensively, they missed a lot of opportunities. They left a lot out there. The offensive line, I thought in the run game, again, had a couple of pops that were called back. And, they only gave up 1 sack. I think Baker left the pocket quickly a couple of times. So, just in general, the offensive line, that huge shakeup worked out for the most part because they certainly were not hampered in terms of Baker being harassed from the blind side. They must have thought Charlie Heck just wasn't that great at a solution. Or I think when you hear Bowles talk about it, it's more like, damn, Graham Barton's a pretty damn good left tackle, And he probably could have been drafted as a left tackle in the NFL. But the Bucs were looking for a center, and they knew he had versatility. So when they tried him out at left tackle, they were like, damn, he's pretty good. And Michael Jordan is this really stout guy on the inside, played well in training camp. And then Bredesen is centered before, and they said, well, these are our best 5. Let's get them on the field. And I thought for the most part, they did a really good job on some 3rd and shorts. They moved people, and I thought Barton did a really good job at left tackle. So I'm guessing this is going to be what they're going to do moving forward, as long as Wirfs is out.
Yeah,
but I thought it worked out. And we have the sound from Bowles. You want to play that from yesterday? Him talking about kind of how they came to realize this is what they were going to do and how they kept it secret too.
This week, but I thought Graham for the first time at tackle played very well. I thought Bredesen did a very good job at center, especially controlling where the blitzes go and pickups and everything like that. And Michael Jordan played well at guard as well. So they played tough and they battled. You know, for those guys moving around, playing their first game at different positions, I thought they did a good job. And going forward, we'll see.
When does the contingency, as you looked at it, become the plan? Like what light bulb goes off? What discussions were?
Well, when we gave him a couple reps out there, first we were doing it out of emergency. Like, hey, he looks pretty good out there, and then Ben looked pretty good at center, and then we just started messing with it a little bit. And the more we saw it, the more it started coming into focus. And when I first asked him to do it, I just said in case of emergency. So he took a few reps here and there. Then it got to kind of be kind of an emergency, and he started looking better and better, and he was firing off the ball in the running game. It was like, hey, we might be more physical with Graham at tackle and Ben at center, and with Jordan at guard, because he had a good preseason. So, and nobody really wanted to say it. And it's like, hey, we probably need to do this, and then it kind of came to fruition.
So that was your call, like
how about that?
Before the game, a week before the game, this week?
Between me, Carbs, and Grizz, we all talked about it, and we all saw the same thing, but nobody wanted to say it. So I was the bad guy to say it, but they were like, yeah, he does look very good out there. In fact, this is pretty good. And then we went with it.
Because there's this adage that, you don't want to change 3 players if you can get by with changing 1, right?
Yeah, that's all we wanted to do. We weren't trying to do it. It started out as an emergency, but it started looking better and better, and then it just came like we probably need to roll with this. It gives us our best chance to win.
How about that?
Some of the best things happen by accident, JP.
Yeah. How about that? And how about the courage of Bowles to say it, and to do it? That's I think one part of his. You always say your greatest strengths, your greatest weaknesses. Loyalty is one of his great strengths and weaknesses. And he's slow to change, even when it's evident that players need to be replaced. Devin White, for instance. But this particular time, he trusted his gut and said, you know what? This looks better. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. And it's, what I said before the game, it was like when I first heard this, I said, listen, I trust Pacucci and Carberry, 2 great offensive line coaches who proved last year that these guys were way better than they were being coached, and they got the best out of them, and the running game went from 32 to 4, which is unheard of. These guys know what the F they're doing, and they see a hell of a lot more than we see in practice, in games, everything. They know the assignments. They know what people are supposed to be doing, and they probably saw Charlie Heck just couldn't handle it, and they were going to have to really change their offense to help him out. And then they said, oh, wait a minute, this guy, Graham Barton's pretty damn good. He was a damn good left tackle at Duke. He played there for 3 years. Why not him? And then we got Bredesen. Okay, let's see how this looks. Ooh, it looks good. But it takes some balls to do that. Because if they lose that game, what are we doing? How do you change the offensive line 2 weeks, but a week before, right? Everybody's bitching and moaning about it. Narratives change based on win and loss, right? But when you go back and look at the tape, they did a pretty damn good job in running the football.
And by the way,
and protection.
For those of you in the offseason that were bitching and moaning about Justin School not being on the team and why would they cut him and bring in Charlie Heck, if you watched Monday Night Football, you will see exactly why the Bucs moved on from Justin School, because he was thrust into the starting role due to the injury to Christian Darrisaw. And boys and girls, he did not have a game last night. He was
and that
awful.
could have been Charlie Heck. That could have been Charlie
awful.
Heck on Sunday, getting somebody loose from the blind side, causing a sack fumble and changing that game.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. As much as what did happen, you also have to look at what didn't happen. They didn't get a lot of pressure on Baker, and especially not from the backside.
Yeah.
Graham Barton did a really, really good job. So, yeah, that was a hell of a move. That was a hell of a move.
And it's a very quiet move, right?
Yeah.
It was just dude, it's a backup offensive lineman. Like, Who
I'm
cares?
gonna talk. We'll talk to TJ a little bit later on and Scott about this, but yeah, because everybody in the media was like, "How the hell did you guys get this?" And I want to say this. I think after the game, Bull said, "Well, nobody asked." Bull crap. I did ask. I asked Baker Mayfield last week, "What's it going to be like without having Tristan Wirfs there and having Charlie Heck out there?" And and then when I thought back, it's like, you know what? He totally avoided that part of the question.
Yeah,
he totally moved on. I asked Bucky Irving. I said, how does it change with Wirfs out and Heck in? He was like, "We'll be fine." So I did ask about the offensive line, and y'all lied to me. Y'all lied to me, which is exactly what they should be doing. So, but it's an interesting, conversation and subterfuge. And then the Bucs had to kind of announce it, and they did it in the pregame show when Jason Light went to the mic with Gene Deckerhoff, where they do their normal thing at about 12:35. They announced it at 12:35 in that interview.
Uh-huh.
Now, Rick Stroud had actually, he said that he had got some video of Baker taking snaps. I don't know if he posted it or not, but he said, "Oh, here's Baker and Graham Barton taking snaps." And somebody said, "Hey, man, check the number." And he's like, "Oh, wait, it's 68, not 62. He's like, "I got the Zapruder film of that's when you first knew." And he didn't realize it at the time, but yeah. And then when Jason lets the cat out of the bag, yeah, for 2 weeks, I guess they had this all underneath and kept it secret. So they at least they know their security's good. Security's good, because if anybody would have seen that out of practice, it would have been obviously a red flag. So good on them for keeping it a secret. 100%. I don't think you could do that in this day and age. They probably didn't think so either.
No.
So, but I wonder what that was called. They had Operation Shoeless Joe. That was the Brady acquisition. So I wonder if they had an operation, what they would call this, the hiding the offensive line switcheroo. I don't know,
but it was genius.
All right, well, come up with a name, Petermans. Let's come up with a name. What was that? Operation what? I got to deal with this right now. Alex S. says, JP, Devin White made an Instagram post yesterday, comments filled with fans saying, "We miss you in Tampa." Crazy how quickly people forget.
Nobody misses him.
All right. Is this over the Servassier Dennis stuff? Are you absolutely out of your mind? And I'm not yelling at you, Alex. I'm yelling at the fans. Alex continues, White also responded to someone asking, "Why don't you play for the Bucs anymore?" He responded, "Guess they thought I wasn't good enough." Still immature as ever.
Well, neither did
you weren't good enough.
3 other teams since then. So
yes.
Why are you calling the Bucs out?
Listen, Servassier made a couple of bonehead plays. Well, one bonehead play. He made one Devin White play where he went after the quarterback and they threw it over his head to Bijan, got 23 yards. That was a bonehead play, and they pulled him out and they talked to him about it and they put him back in and he played great the rest of the way. He had, and the flat pass that went for 50. Listen, that's him out in space with Bijan Robinson with a whole half a field to cover. Good luck. I don't care.
Anybody.
You're freaking Luke Kuechly. That's a tough ask. And the problem was nobody rallied to the ball because 6 guys were blitzing and there was only 5 guys back there and they all got a Velcro attached to their receivers evidently and couldn't get off blocks to go tackle Bijan. Instead of him making a 25-yard gain, it's a 50-yard touchdown. Everybody's yelling at Servassier Dennis. Wasn't a good play, but let's just, come on. Good God. It's huge out in space. He's got to be closer, and he knows that, and he'll learn that in coverage. You got to get closer to the guy in the beginning and commit to it. And then the other one was a blown coverage. But listen, you go look at that tape and look at Servassier. You know what he's doing that Devin White never did? Coming up in the hole, smacking people, shedding the block, and making the tackle. He did it on a 3rd and 1. He did it on a 4th and 1. And between him and Vita Vea against the run, they kicked ass. And Servassier Dennis comes up and smacks the guy in the hole, sheds the blocker, and makes the tackle, something Devin White never freaking did. Never. He ran around every block he could run around, and once people figured that out, he was an easy mark. So don't come at me with, and it's not Alex, I know it's not you, but any of you other people are like, "Oh, we miss you, Devin White." STFU. Jeez, oh Pete. All right, let me go over to this real quick. B, you nasty cat, you. He says, "I see Rick Workman, top investor in Rays, wants to move to Orlando. Even Ken Hagan admits it could happen." You're such a jerk, B.
What are you doing?
Oh, they're just lying. So why would this Rays group move any faster than New York or LA billionaires? They want 2030 season earliest, 2029 season starts in 3.5 years. Not enough time. All right. Here, first of all, let me deal with the Rick Workman thing. This is something I told you guys back in February and March, that Major League Baseball is going to take investors from all the different groups, their best investors, put them in one group, and that's the one that's going to buy the team. So Workman was the main investor over in Orlando. The Rays group wanted to, and they've been moving and shaking, since they got the original agreement, or started in February when I first reported it, that this group was going to get the team. And so they've been, looking for more money here, looking for more money there. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength, actually. The more money they can bring in, the more money they have to spend on players, more money they can spend on the stadium, the more money they can spend to operate the team, right? And don't forget, we're going to put all the money, the revenues that come in, the 350 million in revenues that come in every year, and put that back into the team, something Sternberg was never doing. He was putting most of it in his pocket. So you've got that extra money that's going to be reinvested, and all the money that they have bringing together. So Workman, to me, basically figured out what we've told you months and months ago. Orlando ain't getting a team. And he said, and Major League Baseball said, you want to be part of this ownership group that's actually going to get the team? Well, what would you do? Yeah.
Yep. Yes, please.
Yes, please. I'll be part of the. So this is the one that's actually going to get it. Not spinning my wheels over here, running office space in Orlando for the dreamers that are never going to get a team. Yeah, let's do that. I'll take the sure thing. Now, he's not going to be the control person. Zalewski's going to be the control person. And they're looking in Tampa first. They're not moving to Orlando. Now, Ken Hagan did say this, and I know exactly why he did say it. He said, look, it's Tampa's to lose. And if we screw this up, it's going to Orlando. And I believe that to be 100% true. I think that's what Major League Baseball is looking at it. And it may be why they wanted Workman in this deal. And I think it's a subtle jab because, listen, we talked to you about this. There's going to be a political discussion. I don't want to call it a fight, but there's going to be a political discussion about money and where it's going to come from and how the stadium thing is going to be done. So there's going to be commissioners and people that are going to oppose it. And you have to have some pressure, and there has to be leverage to say, for Ken Hagan to say, look, if we F this up, they're going to Orlando. So let's get it done. And I think that's good. I think that's all good. I think it adds pressure to politicians. You want to be Mr. I don't want to spend any money on public stadiums whatsoever. You want to be the guy that sends a team to Orlando? Good luck getting reelected. You want to be the commissioner that holds this up and keeps Tampa from keeping the Rays and they go to Orlando? You want that on your resume? Good luck with that. So that's what this is, and I think it's good. I think it's good to have a little Orlando leverage there with Workman. So welcome aboard. Come to Tampa. Let's get this thing done right. We welcome your money and to be part of this effort. And maybe he can be a great liaison to bring fans from Orlando to build in Tampa. So, and there's a new site, we've talked about it, over by Hillsborough Community College that seems to be gaining some steam. Fine with that. Just build the damn thing. Just build the damn thing. It's right near Raymond James Stadium. That's a lot of, we all know how to get in and out of there. With 60,000 people, should be very easy with 30,000. Parking would be right there. It's a great site. It's not as sexy as the water. I'd rather have Ybor Harbor, more iconic. But let's build something iconic in that space. That's fine with me. There does seem to be a lot of strip clubs around that area, though, so I don't know if it's going to come with would be the most Tampa thing ever to have a baseball stadium with a strip club.
Maybe they put a strip club in the baseball stadium.
Maybe we take the 2001 spaceship and put it up in left field.
When are we going to put a strip club in a stadium, like with a view of the field? Like that.
If Tampa doesn't do it, I don't know who will.
Nobody will, right?
I mean, come on. We were born for this. What are we doing? It's a no-brainer. They can have their swimming pools and Art Deco shit in Miami. Let's throw a stripper pole up in left field. Let's go. Why not?
You can still have the Rays tank over here, right? And then maybe behind glass.
You have a kid's petting station and an adult petting station. Right? Thank you very much. Right.
I think I'd choose the adult petting station, please.
Oh, my God. The best Tampa thing ever. Hey, we got to find revenue streams, baby. And I know that one works. I know that one works. That's for damn sure. We could have a whole strip of them up in left field. Yeah, fantastic. All
Scott doesn't even know what he's walking into here.
He has no freaking idea what he's walking into. Maybe the Glazers will beat him to it with their new mixed use project.
Oh, good Lord. Poor Scott.
All right.
Scott,
we want to say a huge
Scott.
thank you to all of our sponsors because we're going to go commercial free in the first half hour because Scott is on with us. Thank you to Riveters, Italiano Insurance, The Gold and Diamond Source on-site construction presenting our first hour. Third generation plumbing, Cafe Parody. So the Jeeves Law Group, Genesis of Tampa, and the great folks at Kingmakers. This is the Kingmakers studio right here. So we thank you all, and thanks to all of our great sponsors. And welcome in Scott Reynolds, the face that runs the place at the Pewter Report. What's up, partner? How are you?
Am I welcome or should I run?
You do well. We're trying to get some new revenue streams for the baseball stadium. So
Okay.
we thought, why not? Other places have trains. That are
Right.
trains. They have pools in Miami and Arizona.
Yeah.
So we should have a strip club. Overlooking
In
left
Tampa?
field.
Of
Yeah.
all places? Wow.
Isn't that? I mean, if we don't do it first, who's going to do it, right?
I mean, especially on Dale Mabry. Well, gosh,
Right?
who would think of that?
It's zone. That's what I said. It's zoned for it already.
Yeah.
There's strip clubs all over that place. So
Hello, Nathan.
just like have a row up in left field.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
couple of poles up there, little
Might be-
inside outside
might be a
glass.
little
Reflecting
distracting.
glass.
Might be a little distracting.
No, you have the one way glass, so they can see out, but you can't see in.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
got this whole thing figured out.
Just tell the strippers it's one-way glass.
Oh, boy.
or not. Or not, then you really get a performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they can see you. Yeah, give it to them. Anyway, how are you, partner?
I'm good.
W's a W, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Never
division-
apologize for winning, especially in the division, especially
W is
against the
division
team
W.
that swept you last year. Yeah. So
let's have a little bit of fun first,
I love
because
fun.
you like me are a dogged reporter, and
Yes.
when things pop up that we don't know about, we get
Yes.
ornery.
we do.
And when you change your entire offensive line and we don't know about it,
Stealthy
you got
move.
over on us. You got over on us.
Well,
How the
here's-
hell did this happen without Scott Reynolds finding out? That's
Here-
what I need to know.
here's the thing, right? Maybe I'm just getting old. My spider sense wasn't tingling enough.
I
But
know.
I actually went to Charlie Heck last week in the locker room. I'm probably the only person that talked to Charlie. And I said, "Are you ready for Sunday?" And he was just like, "Yeah, I feel prepared as I'm going to be. And, the guys have been great and the chemistry's been great." I was
That
like,
was
okay. I mean, Charlie is not a great quote to begin with. Let's just put that out there. Okay?
But you felt a little something.
Well, no, I was just like, wow, can you get excited about your first start?
Well, now you
This
do.
is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to do a story on this and say, hey, this guy's had a long on ramp to kind of get prepared for this start. They knew about this and the mini camp, the OTAs, training camp, the preseason, right? That Tristan was not going to be available. So I go to Luke Gedeke and I'm like, Luke, talk about, your offensive tackle, your bookend, Charlie Heck, and how ready he is. And it was just like, Charlie's a good guy. Charlie's put a lot of work in, and we feel confident with Charlie. Like that was it. So I'm thinking like, this is going to be the most boring story I've ever written. So I'm not going to write it. Right.
Worst quotes ever.
Scrapped it.
Exactly. And the thing is in hindsight, right? Hindsight being 2020, Charlie knew he wasn't going to start, but he wasn't going to spill the beans and tell me how prepared am I? Well, I'm prepared to, be the backup, the swing tackle, because I ain't going to start. He didn't tell me that. And I'm grateful that he didn't, because that's state secrets, right? I would have loved that scoop, but I appreciate the stealthiness of the Buccaneers to surprise the Falcons.
Very well done.
And the whole gang was in on it, Luke and everybody else. But in hindsight, because I did ask about Charlie Heck, I could kind of see now why he was even more generic than ever. While his quotes were even worse.
I went back in my mind and I said, I asked Baker. You'll remember that. I asked Baker about Tristan not being out there and with Charlie Heck, what's it going to look like? And he kind of, when I look back at the quote, I'm saying, he kind of totally ignored that part of my question.
Right. Yep.
I asked Bucky, he ignored it too.
Yeah.
And Gedeke to some fashion did as well.
So I in on it.
Yeah. And when I look back on it now, I'm like, I should have seen that coming.
I know.
Whatever.
Yep.
And then
works.
they do it. They release it on the Jason Light show on the pregame. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's they're the team. They're gonna try to release their own scoop. So we got some scoop yesterday. We told everybody that Jamel Dean was taking a pay cut.
Yeah. What's up with
a
that?
lot too.
Yeah. What I mean, it was basically like, hey, you're always hurt. You don't make plays. We'd like to have you, because we have this rookie and Benjamin Morrison, and if you take a pay cut this year, because honestly, I mean, the last couple of years you haven't played up to your tens of millions of dollars or 13 million, whatever it was. Yeah. Then we'll let you be a free agent next year. So it's a win-win, right? Yeah. You get to test free agency next year. Look what your buddy Carlton's making, right? Like you can go get that Jamel somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you have every incentive to not tank on us because you're putting film out there for 31 other teams. So you're going to be playing your best ball. We're going to get our best Jamel Dean this year, and we just want a pay cut. And so I think it's a win-win for both parties in both situations. But here's the thing. I'm glad they didn't cut Jamel or trade Jamel in the offseason, because Benjamin Morrison missed all of the preseason, half of training camp, and missed the first week of the season with a hamstring injury. And let's hope that he's not Jamel 2.0. I don't think he will be. I'm going to give the kid the benefit of the doubt. But he missed some time with a hamstring back in the mandatory minicamp. I think he missed the last day of mandatory minicamp there. And then he misses half of training camp. So not the best start. And I'm not disappointed in Benjamin Morrison, the player. I'm disappointed in Benjamin Morrison's injury circumstance, right?
Yes,
so I want to make that clear. It's not like the kid is not trying to get out there and play. He wants to. He's a big-time competitor. I think he'll be an upgrade, should be an upgrade over Jamel, but we haven't seen it yet. And that's the scary part, because he was out so much that any mistakes that he's going to make are going to be in games that count. This is not like Tez Johnson dropping a big catch or, muffing a punt return in preseason. You get the do-over, right? Doesn't count. Any mistakes Benjamin Morrison will make, hopefully they're not going to be fatal in games, but they're going to be mistakes that count.
Carlton Davis is making $18 million. Carlton Davis is making $18 million a year in New England. Unless he has a Pro Bowl season, who's going to pay him $18 million a year?
Well, I mean, Jamel might be making $13 million somewhere else. I mean, he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's been a starter for years. There's going to be some team that's going to overlook the injury and just say, if we can get healthy Jamel. The Bucs haven't seen healthy Jamel in a long time. But there's going to be that. Your cornerbacks are always in demand in this league, and we'll see what he ends up getting. Again, he has every incentive to play well this year and earn some coin next offseason.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, but again, I think the Bucs played it right. They keep the player for less money, and they could, they use that money to sign Luke, Zion McCollum. Great use allocation, and you keep the player and Jamel.
Right.
And I say this all the time. Process is important, and the narratives change when you win or lose, right? So we have to pay attention to the process during the game and critique it for what it is. And Jamel Dean should have been called for pass interference on that last drive. Yeah, it was brutal, and they would have been at the 1 yard line, and there wouldn't have been a missed field goal. So,
and I think too with that wasn't on Jamel, really. That wasn't on Jamel. That was on Servassier Dennis. They just called the wrong guy. I believe that was on Servassier on Bijan Robinson on the Falcons' final touchdown drive on fourth down.
Oh well, no, I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the no call. I'm talking about the no call.
I don't know. I thought,
come on, dude.
I thought he bodied him pretty well.
While the ball was in the air.
Well, okay, but he didn't use his hands, and that's what the refs are looking for: the pushing, the shoving, the grabbing, and all that stuff. The body.
That could have been an easy call.
I don't know. I disagree. Yeah. I think the refs are. You're able to do that. You're able to, with your body, position yourself and knock a guy out of bounds. That is legal. You can do that. You can't grab and hold, and you can't push with your hands.
He had his arms up the whole time. He
did. He literally used great technique and pushed the guy out of bounds. Jamel has every right to catch the ball as the receiver does. Any cornerback does. And so
are we talking about the same play? I'm talking about the same play when London went out. So number 4.
Casey Washington?
No, he's 82. The other one that won the game,
Kadero
Hodge. Okay. So he's going running down the sideline on a go route,
Right.
and
Into
Jamel's
the end zone,
squatting at the like the 5 or 10 yard, 5-7 yard line. And he just and Hodge is at full speed. Jamel is standing there flat footed, and he just impedes him. He impedes him, hits him to 12, 15 yards down the field. The ball's already in the air, and it ends up being I don't know why Hodge didn't try to catch the ball. It was right there, but it was just a little bit overthrown. I thought
I got to go back and look at that. I'm not thinking of that play. So.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that.
Hey,
anyway.
Listen, can we agree that game was not the best officiated game by the refs?
Oh my God.
We,
I mean, the adjudication of the game was awful. I mean, there were so many times they didn't mark the ball correctly.
Yeah.
They did the penalty. To your point, the penalty where they called Jamel Dean instead of Servassier.
Right.
I mean, there were so many adjudication errors in this game. I mean, if they're graded on everything. This crew got a freaking F. You know what? Exactly. I'm tired of getting this crew, and I'm tired of getting Jonathan Vilma as the analyst. He is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, great dude. Yeah. Great guy.
I love
but
him.
He does so many Bucs games. And he does no freaking, he must not do any research whatsoever. Same guy that thought 2 years ago Devin White was one of the top 5 linebackers in the league. And he played linebacker.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Terrible.
How do you really feel, JP?
I'm getting all worked up this morning. All right. So when you looked at the film, Scott, what are the things that kind of stood out to you that maybe we didn't see in the first go? I thought the offensive line didn't play that great. And then when I went and looked at the tape, I'm like, they played pretty damn good. I thought this whole switch worked out well. It was smart. It was bold.
Prep? Yeah. For 2 weeks of prep. And what 2 weeks is 6 practices. That's really what it is. It's 6 practices. Okay. Yeah. So they had 6 practices with that unit, and I thought they played exceptionally well. There was a holding penalty on Graham Barton. Sure, forgive that. No worries. There is James Pierce and Jalen Walker were non-factors. Their first-round picks, non-factors in this game. Leonard Floyd, didn't hear his name hardly at all. Nope. They allowed, I think, 3 quarterback hits. One of those was on a safety blitz at the end of the first half. Billy Bowman came in untouched. That's not really a line issue. Should have been a back there. That was probably a protection call by Baker Mayfield that he got wrong, not picking him up. Okay, that's fine. The opponent gets paid too. So take that play out. Baker got hit twice. He got flushed a little bit, and that's okay, but Baker's comfortable in that. I know some people are saying, he was running for his life. Okay, well, usually that's when big plays happen. When Baker is baking like that, that's okay. I mean, he will make plays with his feet. He will extend plays. Remember, he was stiff-arming Bosa, and he threw a laser to Rashad White for a first down against the 49ers. I'm okay with Baker scrambling. I'm okay with him being fleshed out of the pocket. He's only 6 feet tall. Sometimes he can't see the field that great in the pocket. Sometimes he needs to escape a little bit and get flushed to have a clear throwing lane. So I'm fine with that. If this was Tom Brady or Brad Johnson or some immobile quarterback, I would be concerned. Baker makes plays with his feet. So I'm okay with that. I think special teams was really good. Was really good. It was, when you look at the fact that if you take away the Chase McLaughlin misses, right, that was big, 4 points. Yeah. Riley Dixon had a fantastic job punting the ball, 51 yards with the 44 net, 2 down inside the 20. Remember, punting was an adventure last year. It was the roller coaster ride that made you sick, not the one that was like, oh, this is fun. No, it was like it made you nauseous. And so that was good. The 54-yard punt return. They actually have special teams now.
That was a game winner. That Cam Johnson 54-yard. Yeah. That was a game winner.
Sean Tucker's 35-yard kick return at the end to set up that good field position. So special teams.
Riley
really
Dixon
good.
Can't hold though. He's a terrible holder. Clearly.
Well, he needs to work on that. Okay, it's week 1. We're going to give him 16 more opportunities to up his holding game for you, JP. Okay.
Well, clearly it's him because it can't be Chase. Chase never misses. So what's the different thing this year? It's Riley. So
but Younghoe Koo missed as well, and I didn't see Riley Dixon out there holding for Younghoe Koo.
And he almost missed that 36-yarder, which he donked off the freaking.
Yeah.
Remember, he hit one off the upright.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So and listen, I'm saying this not to necessarily make fun of Younghoe Koo, but more just out of I'm bringing a little bit of comedy to the show. Not that you guys aren't funny.
So we need more of that.
Right, I know. But here's the thing. Like, okay, I understand given the name, and I don't know his backstory. I don't know his superhero origin story because I don't cover the Falcons and I really don't care. But okay, he lives in America. That's obvious, right? But he might have been born in a different country. And this is more like a helpful suggestion rather than like a recommendation or like you have to do this. But if you look at the phonetics is one thing, but if you look at how the name is spelled, it's Young Ho. Young Ho Koo. Okay. I'm just saying it's like you can legally change your name. All right. Like Nikki Sixx, the bassist for Motley Crue, that's his legal name. It's like
is now
Frankie Vincent, Marcola, he's got this long Italian name. He just said, I'm Nikki Sixx, right? He legally changed his name. If I was Young Ho Koo, I would have Young Wei, whatever it is, Young Ho, Young Wei. I would have changed the spelling of that name, right? Like my dad's name legally was Grover Stephen Reynolds. He hated the name Grover. That was a family name because his father's name, my grandfather's name, was Grover Vernon Reynolds. Okay, so he legally changed it to G. Stephen Reynolds. He just like eliminated Grover, right? Maybe it was the Sesame Street thing. I don't know, but I would just is it Young Wei? Is that what it is? Young Wei? Young Who?
It's pronounced Young Wei Koo.
Young Wei. Okay.
But it's spelled Young Who.
It's spelled Young Ho.
Young Ho, right.
Young Ho. So I would go and legally change it. You still pronounce it the same.
I say don't change a thing because you sucked the other day and it really helped the Bucs.
Well,
so
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, hey, if it's Young Wei, like Young, Young Wei, W-A-Y. That's cool. Better than Young Ho.
Thank you for that comedic relief there. I appreciate that.
My
All right.
pleasure.
So other things I saw on the tape. Everybody's mad at Servassier Dennis, and evidently one of my commenters said that the Bucs fans are on Devin White's Instagram wishing he would come back.
Oh my God.
I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind?
Please follow a different team, Bucs fans. Holy smokes.
He blew a couple plays that were very Devin White-ish. But otherwise,
I know
thought
the
he played
answer to this. I'm going to try to stump the band here.
Thank you.
Do you know with what overall pick Bijan Robinson was drafted in 2023? Here's a hint. It's in the top 10. Can you name where he was drafted? You know which pick it was. It was not number 1. I'll tell you that. So you've got 9 other choices. It was in the top 10. Where was he picked overall?
I think he was 5th.
Nope.
7th.
6th.
Nope.
Where?
8th.
8th. Okay.
He was the 8th overall pick. Whenever you pick a top 10 running back, whenever you draft a running back in the top 10, like he better be damn good. Now, this guy is not Saquon Barkley. Let's not get it twisted, right? But he was a top 10 pick. And you're asking a 5th round guy in Servassier Dennis, and this is not Servassier slander, but I'm not making apologies for the guy either. But you're asking a 5th round pick to cover a top 10 guy. Now, Levante David in his prime may have been able to run with this cat, but Bijan Robinson, if you look at the 50-yard catch and run for the touchdown, he made like 4 defenders miss.
Yeah,
Antoine Winfield Jr. at the 3-yard line made an executive decision saying, I'm not going to lay out to try to tackle this guy.
It's a waste of time.
Because I'm going to miss, and I'm going to land on my face, and he's going to score a touchdown anyways. But he made Levante miss. He outran Servassier. Zion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say
6 on the play. So there were already 6, but he was already by 6.
Let's just say the better player made the play. Okay.
Yeah.
And then here's what I like about this. Todd Bowles decided to put Servassier Dennis in man coverage against Bijan Robinson with the defensive calls he made. Now he has some film to evaluate, and we're going to see one of 2 things. We're going to see, I know what Servassier can't do now, so I'm not going to put him in those situations. Or he's going to give Servassier Dennis a try in this again with less uber talented athletes at running back. Okay.
Right.
And give him another shot. One of those 2 things is going to happen. Either like,
his technique on the play was not good because he got too far away from Bijan. You got to come up and hug him up as he didn't read it fast enough. And then he's out in space he can go 25 yards either way because we blitzed 6.
Took a bad angle.
It's impossible for anybody to tackle him in that space.
If
you do, it's a hell of a play. Yeah, it's a hell of a play.
So here's what I did like. In the box, in the run game, he had 10 tackles, 7
he
solo.
was really good.
2 tackles for loss. He's already better than KJ Britt was last year.
Yeah.
Right. And for this year's Bucs team, that was the goal. Be better than KJ Britt, who was the starter.
And I love the way he takes on the blocker in the hole and sheds him instead of running around him like Devin used to always do.
Yeah.
That's how you play freaking linebacker.
Yes. You and I both saw in practice multiple times, dating back to his rookie minicamp, where like 5 minutes into his first practice, he has a pick six.
Yeah.
He is a better spot drop zone linebacker than he is a man coverage guy. And Todd Bowles, what did he do with his linebackers last year? Spot dropped them ad nauseum, to the point where it was too predictable. And Kirk Cousins and everybody else just like carved up the middle of the defense. Levante can't cover like he used to, and KJ Britt never could, right? But I think if you give Servassier Dennis spot drop opportunities, which that means is I'm basically at the linebacker level, all right, or I'm mugging, I'm showing a look in the A gap, and then dropping about 5 yards, getting those shallow crossers, right? That shallow zone, that's your territory, and let the kid use his football instincts, his football IQ, his quickness, where he can go over there and break up some passes and maybe step in front of one and take it to the house. That's what he does best.
Yeah,
we didn't see him in that opportunity in that game, and again, maybe Todd Bowles thought he could do something that he really can't do, but it's lessons learned. This is the kid's first start at middle linebacker. And so I think we've all learned some lessons here. Who were the 2 guys that got contract extensions last week? Who were they?
Zion McCollum and
Luke Edeke.
Yeah.
Luke Edeke was a bust, right? Everyone was saying this guy was a bust, terrible second-round pick. He needed some time. He was in the wrong position, doing the wrong thing. Right. He got to the right tackle.
That was a bad coaching decision.
It was, but I mean, what my point is we're piling on this guy and we're sealing his fate just because he was out of position and had a rough rookie year. Okay, if we did that to Rondé Barber, JP, this team would not have a Super Bowl in its case. Maybe the one with Tom Brady, but not the one in 2002. If we buried Rondé Barber for being awful as a rookie, and Rondé would tell you the same thing because that's what he was. He was inactive most of his rookie year because he was so bad. That Cardinals game in week 4 or 5 in 1997 was awful tape. And they buried him on the bench. They drafted Brian Kelly in the 2nd round the next year because they thought Rondé Barber was a bust. Okay.
Right.
We need to give these players some time. Zion McCollum could not tackle. He couldn't catch a cold, much less another player out there as a rookie. Look at him now. He's one of the best tacklers on the team. He's tough. I mean, he hurts his shoulder. He comes back in. He strings out Michael Penix or the running back, whoever it was on that play. And
that was Bijan. That was a hell of a play.
And hits him right there out of bounds. You need to give these players a chance. I know we live in the microwave world where, on-demand TV and all that stuff, but it's like it is rare to have the, open player box on Christmas and play with your toy, and it's Tristan Wirfs out of the box. It's Antoine Winfield Jr. out of the box. It's Bucky Irving out of the box. It's Emeka Buka out of the box. Not everyone's like that. Give these guys a chance to develop. Servassier Dennis, here's the last thing on Servassier. And I'm not making apologies. I'm just trying to offer some perspective here. Servassier played 72 snaps on Sunday. That was the most snaps he's ever played in a game at the NFL level. Last year, in the 4 games, we'll call it 3.5 because he got hurt in the 4th game against the Eagles. He played last year, a total of 104 snaps through 4 games. Okay. So he's almost played in 1 game what he played all of last year. As a rookie, playing here, playing there, a couple packages, this and this, he played a total of 103 snaps. So this guy, essentially, if you add up, if you say 60 snaps a game is what you've played in the NFL. Like if you play 60 snaps in a game, that's 1 game in the NFL. So 200, call it 270. So he has played a total of 4 games, maybe 5. In some ways, he's still a rookie in his on-field. Right. His 5th round pick, still in his rookie phase. He's been here 3 years, but you can only learn so much in the film room and in practice. Right. You got to be out there on Sundays to really learn how to play this game and get the reps and make mistakes and correct them. So again, before he buried this guy. Listen, here's what I didn't see from Servassier. I didn't see him shy away from contact.
Nope.
I didn't see him get
loaf.
I didn't see him loaf. I didn't see him get blocked by a fullback or a center 10 yards down the field.
Nope.
Okay. I saw toughness in the box, taking on tight ends and guards and shedding and making some big time tackles. He went airborne to tackle an airborne Tyler Algier in the box. Okay. Yeah. Tyler Algier is like 235 pounds or something.
I thought he
leap
played
up and
really
grab
well.
him and take him down like that.
Plays.
Yeah. He batted a ball down on a blitz.
Huge play. Third down play. That was a huge play.
So, I mean,
he was fine. And
there were some bad plays. There's a lot of good plays too. This wasn't 2 tackles from Servassier. This was 10.
Scott Reynolds from the Peter Report joining us here. Hassan Reddick, after viewing the tape, I thought had a really, really good game, especially against the run.
Yes.
He plays the run so well with his quickness. He avoids blocks, gets penetration, backside, running guys down from the backside. He's really, really good. Did that in a couple of key situations.
240 pounds, JP. He's playing on the line of scrimmage at 240. Like Yaya Diaby's 265, right?
Yeah. And he had 1 sack, and he came close to about 3 or 4 others. They were he was running that twist. That loop in the middle and was getting great penetration and getting in Penix's face. Yeah, I thought he played, and he got a sack. So I thought he played really well.
Third down sack that forced a field goal rather than extending a drive to a possible touchdown. That's a money sack right there.
And he should have had 2 more, and he knows it.
Yes,
that should have been a 3-sack game for him. I thought he played really, really well. What did you think?
I did too. I thought he played really, really well. This is his Bucs debut. What did he play? 10 plays in the preseason. Pass rush. Warren Sapp told me this a long time ago. Pass rush. It's a fist, right? It's 4 guys, but if you try to punch somebody like this, guess what? I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to break my 4 fingers.
Yeah.
But when you come together and you make a fist, now you can inflict some damage. And what that means is you all have to come together as a fist, and you've got to collapse a pocket and know exactly where the other guys are rushing from. If they're twisting, if they're stunting, if they're just trying to win one-on-one blocks, and this guy's going through the B gap, this one's going through the A gap, this one's got a tight end on this side to deal with. He's got to go around him, and then a tackle on this side. You all have to converge and collapse the pocket and shut down escape lanes. It's very important. I mean, we saw the touchdown for Michael Penix with an escape lane. The more these guys play together, and that's the thing. It's just like the offensive line. The offensive line, you have to play in concert. Everyone has got to do their job and have the correct spacing and line splits and everything to form that pocket of protection, right? And it's the same thing with the defensive line. It's not 4 guys just out there rushing and trying to win one-on-ones. It's a collaborative effort. And the longer these guys play together, you're going to see, instead of Michael Penix scrambling for a 4-yard touchdown on 4th down, you're going to see Kalijah Cansey be in the right place at the right time to get a cleanup sack. To get a cleanup sack. And that's what Hassan Reddick, I think, will and could and should do for this team, is not just get 10 sacks this year, which I think he's going to. It's going to be helping Yaya Diaby, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey, Logan Hall, whoever's in there, get a lot of cleanup sacks. Bringing the heat to make quarterbacks either step up into the pocket towards the defensive tackles or flushing the quarterback to Yaya Diaby. And I told Yaya the other day, I'm like, listen, dude, you're probably going to get 10 sacks this year. Yeah. But the thing is you're going to get like 6 on your own, winning one-on-ones and all of that. Through 17 games, you're capable of doing that. But if you just stay home and just do your job and not try to do too much, stay home, Hassan is going to flush the quarterback your way. You're going to get like 4 to 5 cleanup sacks, and you're going to go to a Pro Bowl. Maybe not this year, but soon. You're going to be a double-digit sack guy if you just don't try to do too much and understand where all of your other rushers are and where they're going to be and what they're going to try to do. And that's why you saw Marcus Jones get 13 sacks playing opposite Warren Sapp. Marcus Jones didn't have 13 wins, 1 versus 1 against the tackle. A lot of those were cleanup sacks.
Just had waiting arms.
Exactly. It's just Sapp got the penetration. The quarterback was flushed right into Marcus Jones, sack. You know, that's how pass rush works up front. It is a collaborative effort when it works well.
Absolutely. All right, partner. Always great stuff. Thank you for taking the time to visit us. What's going on with Pewter Report? What do we got going on this week?
We've got a lot of things. We've got a podcast tomorrow. It's our Bucs versus Texans preview. Matt Matera and I will be previewing Bucs versus Texans. This is a big Monday night game because I don't know if you guys remember, the Bucs were 0 in prime time last year. That means they didn't win any. They were 0 for 5, including that loss to the Commodes in the playoffs at home.
And
so
the Falcons.
This is their opportunity early in the season to just knock that nonsense off, to not make it a thing. You go out there and you beat the Texans on Monday Night Football, and all of a sudden that narrative is gone. But here's the thing. You lose on Monday night. Now it's 0-6. Now it's why can't the Bucs win in primetime? Then it gets in your head. And then you got that Monday night game against the Lions. It's going to be tough. Then you got the Sunday night game against the Rams. It's going to be tough. The Falcons game on Thursday night. This can't be a problem because if it's a problem again, guess what? Primetime games and playoffs, they go together like hand in glove. And so you want to be able to win in primetime and not have that be a narrative and not have that be in the back of your mind. So we're going to preview that on Wednesday on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. Thursday, another podcast. And then Monday, we've got Pewter pregame at 9:00 a.m. on Pewter Report TV. Pewter game day at 7 o'clock because the game's an early start at 7. And our post-game show. And you can read all about our content at pewterreport.com. Follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Pewter Report.
It's like you've said all that before or something, like it's rehearsed.
20,000 subscribers.
Yes,
awesome.
We're almost at 21,000. We're like 20,912 or something. So
killing it.
Very much. Thank you.
Great job. Thanks, Scotty. Appreciate you.
See you next week.
All right, we'll take a long-awaited break here and thank all of our great sponsors, including Kingmakers, which is a really cool spot that we're sitting in right now. You can actually use this studio. Become a member of Kingmakers Tampa. You can use this beautiful studio to do a podcast, to do film some commercials, whatever you need. That's part of the membership. We have by day, this is a workplace right here in beautiful Midtown Tampa. We have private conference rooms. We have a really stylish conference room. You could use that. And then by night, it's a cool place to hang out and network. We got a sports bar where we watched the Bucs game the other day, 15 TVs in there. We watched every single game. And we got a golf simulator as well. So if you want to bring the boys over and play a little golf, whatever, you want to play Augusta, you want to play Pebble Beach, it's all on the computer. Great place, kingmakerstampa.com. Get your membership now because they will not last long. kingmakerstampa.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rives play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on this beautiful Tuesday. It's awesome that it's football season. Hey, I want to remind you folks that Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. I don't know about you, but my phone has been ringing off the hook. The spam messages, all this stuff. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details, including your phone number. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts. I get 100 of those a day. Harassment. By now, you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. It's the New York Times Wirecutter named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. So trust me, folks, this is something you need to do. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now with a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting HIT to 64,000. The only way to get 20% off is to text HIT, H-I-T, for the spelling impaired, to 64,000. That's HIT to 64,000. Message and data rates apply. If you're a famous person like Tim, you got to have Delete Me.
I was just about to ask, I wonder if Delete Me works for like ex-girlfriends and ex-wives. Can I delete them?
That would be nice.
Right?
Like delete them from your history. Now come up with an AI website where I can just delete that. Would that mean my final judgment would go away too?
I mean,
can I delete that? Oh, then I have to delete my kids, and I would never want to do that.
No, but they can stay. It's just the individual.
Oh,
yeah. I don't want to get rid of them. I mean, I might want to get rid of one of them, but I'll keep all the other ones.
Decisions you regret. Hour 2 here on the JP Peterson.
Holy crap, we don't have enough time for that.
We'll do a 24-hour marathon.
Good Lord.
Decisions that we regret. All right, let's get to some comments, shall we? By the way, I just sent you something. Intern Danny found this for us. Wander Franco just got arrested while he was doing an Instagram live. And that's what I just sent you. I don't know if you could upload it.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull an Instagram video.
Okay. Well, I texted it to you.
Yeah, no, I got it.
All right. So I don't know if you could. I'll do this. I'll put it up to the screen And see if you can hear this, all the shenanigans.
Oh, no.
I don't know what's going on there, but it's not good. So evidently he was doing an Instagram live and he put the phone down. So all you could see is like the ceiling, but you can hear all the shenanigans going on there. So that did not sound good. So when we get some details on that, we'll pass it on. But Wander Franco arrested while doing an Instagram live. Wow.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it.
While you do that, I will go through some comments here. Mike H has the point spread. Texans favored by 2.5, point total 44.5 after Texans fall to the Rams, 16-9. Very defensive game. The Bucs offense wasn't. So, yeah, I like the under in that as well, although the offenses start catching up. But I think the under is a good play here. Texans 2.5. I'll take the Bucs and the under. But I'm going to buy a 0.5 point for the Bucs there. To get to 3, and then interesting. Thank you, Mike, for the updated odds. Thomas Casper says, I'm hoping Bucky and Cade were just game plan. Baker accuracy was terrible. He was not good. How much of that is not playing in the preseason? I don't know.
For the first time in his career.
Yeah, that's the first time he's not played in the preseason.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I said this before, I'll say it again. Sorry for being repetitive, but I did ask him that on Wednesday, like, how you feeling? You didn't play in the preseason. Mahomes did, a lot of other teams did, but you didn't. And he just kind of said, "I'll be all right. I'll be all right." It was kind of like a half-hearted, it wasn't. I don't care about that, man. I'm ready to go. Right, it was kind of like, So maybe it was in the back of his mind a little bit, because his accuracy is always, that's what makes him so good. Yeah. His velocity and accuracy. I mean, that ball to Ibuka.
Good
Both
Lord.
of the throws to Ibuka.
That was great coverage too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was great coverage, and it was such perfect ball placement that and Ibuka evidently called his shot on that one, and so did he. He went to Baker and they said, "We're going to run this play again." Bates keeps jumping up on Evans, so I'll have an inside release. And, give me a shot.
How's that for knowing the game of football as a rookie?
And, Hughes had his hand on his hand.
Yeah.
He had his hand on his hand, and he snatched that ball.
It was great coverage.
That's what rookies have a hard time doing, learning the combat catch. Because all these guys, these defensive backs are so strong, they're going to strip your hands. And, that's one thing Ibuka has on J-Mac. He's so much stronger than J-Mac. He's so much bigger upstairs, arms, shoulder, everything. He's just bigger. J-Mac's very spindly. Although he's put on probably a good 10, 15 pounds, he looks so much better, J-Mac. He got stronger, so he's working at it. But he's just, remember last year in the end zone, that guy snatched the ball from him, cost the Bucs a game? Yeah. I'm talking about J-Mac. That ain't happening to Ibuka. Yeah. No way. But both of those throws, those touchdown throws, like the first one to Ibuka, he's crossing. And boy, Baker hits him right in stride, and they were playing. They hit him right in between that zone. The other and that other defender was coming at his face, Ibuka's face, and just barely missed the ball. It was a perfect throw, but what great concentration! Do you have some defender coming to you in your face, and you don't even break stride or break concentration? You just snatch it and run into the end zone. Both of those plays were seasoned receiver plays by Ibuka. Really freaking good. But, I think to your point, Thomas, and I think Bucky, when I went back and looked at his yards, he had one 11-yarder called back. So that's going to, he only ran for 2.6. I thought, I thought they just played good run defense. There was a couple times where they had safeties come up.
Yep.
And make the play. So Bucky will be fine. What do we have here? Oh, wow. That looks menacing.
Mira la policía, me quieren llevar, mira, me quieren llevar, mira.
Oh, he didn't put the phone down. He dropped the phone.
Tranquilo. Mira cómo me estamos tratando. Tú delincuente, mira. Mira. Mira,
Anybody speak Spanish?
I mean, that'd be
They
a
know
lot
what's
more
going on
interesting
there?
if they learned to speak English down there.
Wow, that was intense.
Dude. Yeah,
That
he
was
didn't put
really
the phone
intense.
down. He dropped the phone and ran.
So he had the gun charge dropped,
Mm-hmm.
and he's awaiting sentencing, right? That's, I think,
Obvious.
where the latest is on this. So why are they coming after him again?
I don't know. Is it new charges? Is it something else they found? Is he not on like probation or anything? Is he for?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I don't know how it works down there. That's what she said.
Nathan, I don't know what number you're on, but the number says 671 people watching, not 41. So, but thank you for jumping in. But all the rest of you 671, hit the like button.
Yeah, wherever you're
Thank you.
watching.
Yes. Good morning, Nathan. John Hill says Hassan only had 1 sack and a few pressures from 30-plus attempts. Again, a third-string tackle. Discuss.
I disagree with that.
Johnny, a lot of the times they were running loops, so he wasn't going up against the tackle itself. I mean, when you say third-string tackle, where was the pressure? First of all, Penix was getting the ball out quick for the most part. I don't think he had one completion downfield of more than 10 yards. Somebody told me that, and I was trying to think back if he did. I know he tried to get it down the field a bunch of times, but he couldn't. So I thought he was getting the ball out really, really quick. So listen, you held the Falcons to 20 points. That's a good defensive effort. It's a good defensive effort. So I thought Hassan played well, and he wasn't a game wrecker, but hey, you got me a sack and 3. I think he had 3 hits. What does that average out to? 17 sack season.
I mean, look, the other way
I'll
you can
take
read
it.
that, the other way you can read what John Hill wrote, and the way I'm reading it is Hassan Reddick had a sack in his Bucs debut.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I read it. Like that's a good thing.
I watched the whole tape, and he played great in the run game. That's part of it too. And he had lots of pressures. He forced, I don't know how many, but he forced Penix to throw the ball early a bunch of times. I thought he played really well. What else we got here?
I mean, he had a sack, he had 3 tackles, 1 solo, and he had a tackle for a loss in his debut against Michael Penix.
That's
Michael Penix
pretty good.
Jr. Dude,
Just don't call him the other name. James says the last 55 seconds on D, that strategy almost cost the Bucs the win. If not for a miraculous play by Winfield, the Bucs lose with no time left. This must change. 12-5 was based on the D being better. Is he coaching scared? This is why I didn't go 12-5, James. Until I see the defense be markedly better, I'm thinking more 10-11 and leaning more towards the 10. And this is just week one. Week one, you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad. This team has a chance to get really, really good, and that's what it's all about. You got the W without Wirfs, without Godwin, without J-Mac, with a makeshift offensive line. This was your C-plus game. Baker wasn't at his best, and you still got a divisional dub on the road. What the F are we talking about? Right? Your defense wasn't great, but it held him to 20 points. Your kicker missed 2 that he never misses. You still won. You didn't get any turnovers. You only had 260 yards of offense. You still won. So, again, this was your C-plus game, maybe your C game, and you got a divisional win on the road with 3 Pro Bowlers down. two at least. J-Mac's not a Pro Bowler, but a really good player.
No.
So, I mean, come on.
Is anybody worried about Chase McLaughlin here?
Oh, shut up.
I'm
Why would you be worried about him?
I'm just asking because there's going to be doomsdayers who are like, oh my God, Chase missed one and it could have cost us.
No. Douglas Batista says, good morning to you, Douglas. He said, I lived in Hartford, Connecticut in the late 90s. So Robert Kraft announced he was moving the team there as leverage to pressure mass politicians to build a new stadium.
Sure did.
It worked. Kraft in the NFL never wanted the team in Hartford. Yeah. This whole Workman thing, I think that if you have not heard, he's not the lead investor, but he's according to the Athletic, Evan Drelich and Ken Rosenthal reporting, he is the third. As Brandon G says, the Athletic did an article 10 days ago where they interviewed the Orlando Dreamers and Rick Workman, It was still identified as the anchor investors. So this all came together in the last few days. If you haven't heard, Rick Workman has now been identified as the third leading investor. I don't know how they rank in the new Tampa Bay Rays, Tampa Jacksonville based group. So, and as I mentioned earlier, and I said way months ago, MLB will bring in the best investors from all the different groups, get them together to have one strong group with a lot of financial backing. And Workman is part of that. I think it's also kind of a shot over the bow to Tampa and Hillsborough politicians that said, listen, if you don't do this, Workman is ready to take this deal to Orlando and get it done. So you don't be the politician that sends the Rays out of town to Orlando. You don't want that on your. So I think this is a very savvy political move by Ken Hagan, the Major League Baseball. I'm not saying there's anything untoward about it at all. I think it's a great move because it puts the pressure on the Tampa folks to say, let's get this done or it's going to Orlando. So good. I like it. It doesn't mean, Workman's going to take the team to Orlando now. No, he's not. Major League Baseball wants it in Tampa. You guys read things and you make the wrong conclusions, in my opinion. To me, it's a great political move. It makes you more financially solid and leaves other investment money to be poured into the team for the stadium, players, etc. All right. Nathan White says, Nathan Elliott says, Devin White loved being in Tampa. He is very petty and butt sore because he didn't get his $100 million contract that he wanted. Gerald McCoy was just as petty when he signed with Carolina. Yeah, when you leave and you take shots, it kind of, your legacy here isn't as strong. People don't forget. James says Bucs moved to shuffle O-line, probably done more for this week than Falcons because of Heck at left tackle versus Texans front. It would be real ugly. Bucs had a game to implement, and now they will be better versus Texans. Totally on board with this, James. Absolutely. That's kind of the first thing I thought of when they did this. I was like, first game, I don't know. But then I'm like, you know what? Maybe they feel like Tristan might be out longer. That's the scary part to me. This seems like, you know what? We don't, if we're going to play one or two games, we'll put Heck in there. This might tell me, wait, this might be something a little bit more serious because Tristan Wirfs did mention there's bone on bone and bone on bone in the knee. And they said when they got in there, they discovered stuff that they didn't think was in there. Remember when Ryan Jensen tore up his knee? And all the ligaments came back strong from the stem cells that he did. They all repaired themselves. But it was this cartilage issue that they couldn't because you can't regenerate cartilage. It was a cartilage issue that basically ended his career. And I'm not saying that's what's going on with Tristan. I don't know. But it's happened before to other athletes. So when I hear this, I'm like, oof. I'm not going to say I'm not worried. I want to be. We just signed the guy. We need another 8 years out of Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah.
And if he can't go, bro. So, yeah, but to your point, James, this is more long-term.
Or maybe it's just something they were more comfortable with, and Wirfs is still coming back in week 5 with Chris Godwin. By the way, I don't know if y'all talked about that yesterday. We kind of figured week 5 for Chris Godwin, but over the weekend they confirmed, he'll be back for week 5.
But they don't know that yet. They want him back.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
All right, let's put this to rest as well. Stu's going to have 10% as an owner. Okay. First of all, let's remember MLB is forcing Stu out. Okay? It's forcing Stu out. Him with 10% stake does not mean he's making any decisions whatsoever. Major League Baseball appoints a control person. That's the person that runs the team and makes the decisions. The other guys are just kind of, they can structure it certain ways. And, and I don't know how this new group, it looks like Ken Babby, who's already moved here, is going to be kind of the point person for the stadium and marketing, which he's already done a tremendous job of with his jumbo shrimp in Jacksonville and the Akron teams that he owns. So he's already working on that part of it. So, so how these decisions are made, but I can tell you this, Stu Sternberg is not making any decisions for this team. I think the 10% that he's retaining is just so they can take that $170 million and maybe put it into the stadium instead of giving it to him. And that makes the stadium deal easier for this group to do. Good stuff. So don't think, I know a lot of you, and I get it, you don't want Stu anywhere near it, but at some point they'll buy him out. And I'm sure there's probably a deal, as the team increases with the new stadium, that 10% will be worth more. So it's kind of an investment for him. But as far as him having control or any say over what's going on, I just hope that this group treats him, a minority owner, like he treated his minority owners, which is to say, you get no statements whatsoever. I'll tell you nothing. I'll take your tax money. I won't give you any money whatsoever in any type of revenue. You just pay taxes and you pay. You don't get anything. And don't even ask me questions about how much I'm paying Matt Silverman or Brian Auld or myself or how I'm doing anything. You just shut the hell up and whatever. That's how he treated his minority partners, allegedly, according to the lawsuit. So hopefully Zalewski will treat him the same way.
Yeah.
See how you like it, Stu. Probably not. What else we got here? Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Said, why did Michael Jordan start at guard over Elijah Klein? Jordan's on the practice squad and was just elevated. He could be elevated 2 more times if we're back by week 3 or 4. Well, here's the thing. Michael Jordan has played in this league and had a lot of starts. Elijah Klein is not. That would have been Elijah Klein's first start. So that's why he didn't play. You want someone that's seasoned. And Jordan had a good spring or a good training camp by all accounts. So that's why. And watching the tape of Elijah Klein in the was it the Pittsburgh game or the last game? It was the last game. He did not look good. He was getting blown off the ball a couple of times that I saw. So let's not – I thought he was going to be really good. And he still may be, but I think we need some time with Elijah Klein.
I think we have high expectations for him, but I think he is still pretty far away from what we think he can be.
I agree. I don't even know how to pronounce this name, but welcome, said spinning foul poles. Oh, so we were talking about the strip club in the new baseball stadium. So the foul pole could be a strip pole.
I'm in.
Seventh inning stretch. New meaning. You're terrible. You're awful.
This is pretty good.
That's pretty funny. Brandon G says, seems like those elite Tampa businessmen that are part of the group are very limited partners and won't have any say-so. If Tampa struggles with a stadium deal, the Rays will look to Orlando. That's right, Brandon. Trust me, the people, you think Dan Doyle is not going to have a say in what's going on? You think Fred Ridley's not going to have a say in what's going on? They have plenty of say. Stu's not going to have any say, but those guys do. And that's Major League Baseball is going to have the reason they chose this group is because they can get the job done in Tampa in terms of a stadium or have the best chance because they're politically connected and have the money. So I don't know what you're thinking, Brandon G, but that's how I read it. Brian Molinaro says no welfare for billionaires. I agree. That's why, Ken Hagan has always talked about this stadium deal being very taxpayer friendly. They're not going to use property taxes. It's going to be taxpayer friendly. So keep that in mind. All right, let us take a quick break. Looks like TJ is ready to go. We'll take a quick break, come back on the other side here from the great Bucs sideline guy who's got another great story to tell.
All the stories from TJ.
Offensive line reveal. Hey, we are brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Don't forget, they are the official bar and grill of your JP Peterson Show. You got to go there for the wings. I picked up wings to go this weekend for our little party over here. Fabulous. The sauces were perfect. So wings to go is a great way to go. They had them ready in 20 minutes. 20 minutes on Sunday morning, right before the game started. They were ready when I showed up. How about that? That's how they do it at Riveters. Great food, great staff, great people. Back in 3 with TJ Reeves. The Golden Diamond Source is working every day to be your family jeweler. Right now, a $5,000 engagement ring with 0% interest can be yours for just $83. So don't let the holidays sneak up on you this year. Now is the time to get ahead with their in-store layaway. Trade in your old jewelry for cash. Gold has never been higher. The Golden Diamond Source is offering the highest ever trade-in values for your gold and diamond jewelry. Now is the time to get your holiday shopping started. So come in now, relax, shop, and save at the Golden Diamond Source. We love Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local philanthropists, and you can find them at 3800 Olmerton Road in Clearwater, where you'll always find the perfect gift, only at the Golden Diamond Source. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue. Check out these cars and the great Genesis value that you get. They are, I drove a Genesis and I've driven a Mercedes, I've driven a Lexus, all those. The Genesis, by far, my favorite car that I ever had. I'm going to own another one soon from Genesis of Tampa. Just had their biggest week. They just opened this place and they're making deals. So if you want a car, a luxury car that is absolutely top-notch in technology, performance, for a fraction of the price of some of these bigger boys, please go look at the Genesis, the G80, the G70, fantastic cars. You can do that at Genesis of Tampa. Do it online or just go over there. Tell them JP sent you.
Do it.
All right. Do it. All right, let's welcome in Bucs sideline guy, the great TJ What's up, brother?
Howdy, gents. Howdy.
Happy big win in Atlanta.
Happy week 1 win. Makes the food taste better after the game. Everybody's in a good mood. Good plane ride home. We're all good on that front. 1 down there. Very interesting. Very interesting weekend, especially with USF and the upset that you've been talking about and everybody around the area has been talking about of Florida. I keep putting the same thing out there on all these shows. Did you enjoy the last time the Florida Gators are ever going to willingly play the University of South Florida after they lost to them on Saturday? Did you enjoy that? Everybody enjoy that? Because they're not playing them again willingly after that. Legitimize them and lose to them.
So, SEC games plus Florida State and USF? No.
Yeah.
No. Don't want that on their
Don't
schedule.
think so. Not at this point. And you have much love, as do I, with the Grammatica family. We have known them
that's awesome.
the entire time. And Nico, the oldest son of Martine. You love the stories. I could give you stories on top of stories.
You know what I love seeing that was really interesting is when Nico made the kick, he jumps into the arms of his holder, wearing his number 7. Where have we seen that before?
We have absolutely seen it before.
How cool was that?
The scary thing is Nico and the younger son Gaston, who is the same age as my twins and was in the elementary school up here in Lutz, in the mean streets of North Tampa, as I like to describe it, in Lutz. The twins were in elementary school with Gaston, or G. He's the kicker right now at Cambridge Christian School, and he is committed to USF as well. So you got Grammatica, the sequel, coming right after it. But how cool is all? So I've got stories on top of stories. Do you want a quick Grammatica story as it relates to USF?
Yes.
We did not rehearse this. You do not know this is coming. Timmy, you're going to love this.
By the way, which Grammatica was it that blew his knee out celebrating? Was that Bill?
That was Bill. Right. So Bill did that with the Arizona Cardinals, and it basically ended his career, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Bill had a tremendous career at USF as well as a left-footed kicker. He's the only one of the kicking Grammaticas that's left-footed. But this story goes back to 2003. So this is the only season that I did the University of South Florida's radio as their sideline guy, which was like the preamble to me being in the role with the Buccaneers as a sideline guy. They are playing Louisville that night, and this is the newly constituted Big East. Well, I don't know if the Big East had started yet, but they're playing Louisville in a game at Raymond James Stadium. Pretty good crowd. And Santiago Grammatica, Martine's brother, Nico's uncle, is the kicker. As you remember, JP, the kicking Grammaticas to keep it all straight. So Santiago is the kicker. All right, so the fourth quarter of the game is going on. This is a Friday night ESPN game. And I'm down there on the sideline. And all of a sudden, I look beside me, and Martine is beside me. This is during the Buccaneers season. This is a Friday night game, and he is right by me. And so I make small conversation with him, and it's a dramatic game, and USF is going for the winning field goal, and Martine is right beside me, and he is pacing like either a combination of an expectant father or a caged animal at the Lowry Park Zoo, Tampa. I don't know which. Martine is going back and forth, just back and forth, back and forth. They line it up. Louisville calls a timeout to try to ice him, and Santiago blasts through the winning field goal. And as he does, the kick is going through. The kick is good. Martine roars onto the field himself with the celebrating USF players and dog piles right in the middle of the USF dog pile that they have beaten Louisville on the last second field goal with no time left. Martine, an NFL kicker for the Buccaneers, an NFC contending team, is out there in the TV showing him and everything. And Martine doesn't mind me telling this because he's told the story too. Remember, Joe Marciano was the special teams coach. Yeah. He's like, Joe Marciano was ready to kill me. He goes, they saw me on TV. I can't ever do that again.
Yeah. Not good.
I have flashbacks to moments like that, and we have now lived long enough that Martine's son, Nico, kicks the winning kick. He very nearly, as you know, made the 58-yarder before that, earlier in the quarter. That was like a yard short. What a moment. He
thought it was in, too. He thought it was in.
Yes. Well, okay, so I'll just share this real quick. I'm watching in Atlanta at the sports restaurant. I won't name them. They don't sponsor the show. There's literally 75 people in the section where we are, huge place.
and the USF games on every TV. They weren't showing. They didn't really have the Ole Miss game on many TVs. Ole Miss was playing Kentucky.
Yep.
Whatever else was going on at the same time. When he kicked the 58-yard field goal, everybody, including me in the restaurant, thought he had made it. There's people cheering because it was dead on line, right at the goalpost, and it died like a yard too soon. And so I'm looking at the people that I'm with, and I'm like, man, you talk about an all-time story, what might have been if that's the winning field goal. And who knew that he would get a chance to do it again? So
who knew that the Gators would try to throw twice when they were trying to run out the clock, and then
Billy Napier
someone would spit in the
once
face
again,
of
Billy
a player.
Napier blindfolded, playing pin the tail on the donkey, trying to figure it all out at the end of a game. This is the second year in a row where we're doing the whole, how much longer are they going to keep him with all this stuff?
He saved his ass with a great run at the end of the season. He'll get that opportunity again. They're not going to fire him mid-season.
They're not, right, but the next 4 games, where's a win? At LSU, at Miami.
Yeah, but you know what? The
Texas
Gators are a
at
good
home,
football team.
At A&M.
But they're good. The Gators are a good football
Out of those
team.
next 4
USF
games,
is good.
I understand.
And this is what people are. I know.
Okay.
When you're bitching about Napier, what you're saying is USF's not good and they just beat you.
Well,
USF is really freaking good.
Yeah, the defense especially. But at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, at somebody's A&M Aggies, Tim Ham. How many of those games is Billy Napier winning? What do you got him at? You got him at 1 and 3?
If you get 2 of them, you're fine.
How many you got him at right now? They might win 1. They might win none of those games, especially if his team checks
3.
out. Well, they could.
You know, we talked about Mike Norvell coming into the season, and what would it take for him to be on the hot seat mid-season, and clearly he's fine.
Right.
But I don't know that we talked about Billy Napier like this.
It's back.
Back. The worst part of that loss on Saturday was it was at the Swamp.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt even more, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had his game management. They had a couple chances to put the game away and did not. So kudos to Alex Golish.
Those 2 passing places were inexcusable.
Yeah, and his quarterback, DJ Lagway, did not overcome it. Now, here's the thing, just real quick for USF and Miami. Carson Beck is a much better quarterback than DJ Lagway. And Miami is just as physical. So will that matter? Tough game again, back-to-back here for USF. But, hey, in the coaching matchup of Alex Golish and Mario Cristobal, who are we taking, kids? Who are we taking in that one?
Exactly. Golish.
So
Golish.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So there you go, a little story time on that. What else?
I need another story from you.
Please. Yes.
I'm just finding this fascinating, this subterfuge that the Bucs inflicted on the reporters and everybody who covers this team by keeping this offensive line shift a secret for 2 weeks. How dare they? But so you were up in the booth when you found out, right?
Are you going to put me under oath like a congressional hearing? It's the whole what did you know and when did you know it?
What did you know and when did you know it?
Okay.
You were on the plane with them, for God's sake.
I was both going and coming back. I am here to testify on the JP Peterson Show. I'm an honest guy. You know this. You've known me for the better part of 30 years.
Yeah.
I did not know. They kept it a secret from everybody, including the media, because they were doing this in a time frame where the media can't watch practice.
Right.
And by their own admission, because I interviewed these guys after the game, Ben Bredesen and Graham Barton, they basically stumbled into this in one way because they had Barton taking emergency reps 2 weeks ago in the week before Labor Day, in the event that if somebody needs to go in and play left tackle, something happens to Charlie Heck, are they going to use the Nigerian from Georgia State, Ben Chukwumba? Chukwumba doesn't have very much experience, especially at the professional level, to put him in at left tackle if there's an injury. So they were using Graham Barton because obviously he had played left tackle at Duke, which we knew, which we talked about on your show. But these guys were saying that's when the beginning of the idea came about of could he play left tackle if we need him? And then they basically practiced with that lineup that you saw last week leading up to the game. Now, they are under no obligation to tell anybody about that. That's coaching strategy. That's secrecy. And they did a phenomenal job, the Buccaneers, of keeping that from everybody. I'll just take you back to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium press box where we're there doing the game and getting ready for everything to happen. And we did not notice. I'm doing a live radio segment that 20 minutes before the game, they're using Bredesen warming up as the center with Mayfield. That would have been the time to notice it, because that's when they're warming up with that lineup. And almost nobody else knew until Jason Light on Buccaneers Radio said, this is what we're doing. He revealed it at that point about 15 minutes before the game. Now it's out because, again, if the Falcons were watching, they could tell who the Bucs were using to warm up.
Yeah. And
look, to have shifted 3 different line positions in the opening game on the road, and it was bonkers loud in there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, to have shifted Bredesen to center where he's in charge of the audibles, the line checks, to put Barton on the end as a tackle when it's a different responsibility with your steps, your feet, your quickness. That was admirable, because they didn't dominate, but they more than held their own as an offense and an offensive line and scored points.
They didn't lose the game.
Full credit for being able to pull that off. So there you go on the we didn't know. We did not know either.
TJ, are they required to make that announcement before the game?
It's a coaching,
not lineups.
It's a coaching decision. So the only variable, because JP and I were talking about this, if something has happened because of illness or because of injury and somebody's not on the injury report, you are then obligated to say, like, hypothetically, if Graham Barton had been sick and Ben Bredesen's going to replace him, and Barton's not on the injury report, and you've declared him active, but now he's not going to play for whatever reason, you now have an obligation to tell the other team he's sick, or he can't, or something happened and he can't play, whatever it is. So they were under coaching strategy, whatever else. This has sometimes happened where a player is being disciplined and we don't know that. And so they don't play the player at the beginning of the game. I still remember, I go back, this is another classic story. This goes back to my first year doing the games in 2005, by the way. Buccaneers traveled to San Francisco to play the 49ers. And I did know something was up with Simeon Rice, Planet Simeon, who we're going to honor later on in the year. And Simeon Rice ended up missing team meetings Saturday night altogether, didn't show up. And so they were trying to figure out, what are we going to do? Are we going to suspend him for the first quarter or the first half or whatever? The decision was made by John Gruden and by Bruce Allen at that point. They did not want him to be a distraction. They didn't want it to be a distraction, and they deemed this violation serious enough that they were going to deactivate him and not have him active for the game. So they elected to send him home and not even have him at the stadium. So then we had a private conversation on, okay, this is not for you guys to talk about when you get around the media, et cetera, and when they find out he's inactive, don't. In my role, again, I know about things. Exactly. It's not my job to break news. You know that, JP.
Nope.
So I'm at the Candlestick Park press box when the inactives come out, and not only is Simeon Rice inactive, he's not there. And everybody has now noticed he's not there, not warming up. He's not on the sideline in street clothes. He's not there at all. He's on an airplane headed back to Tampa in the afternoon in San Francisco. And I must have got asked 7 times, what's going on with Simeon Rice? What happened? Why did they do this? And I knew it was a discipline situation. And I said, hey, it's not for me to know. You guys got to find out. I had longtime media members going, hey, you got to tell me what's going on. No, I don't. I don't know for sure why they did what they did, but it's certainly not my job to tell you. It's your job to find out from them.
Yeah, exactly.
I still remember I am standing down in the media area before we went up to the dump Candlestick Park press box. And our buddy Jeff Camus, we love Camus, who was the longtime media director for the Bucs. His phone is ringing, and he goes, my God, it's Chris Mortensen. He's looking at his phone, Chris Mortensen from the NFL and whatever. And he says, I can't answer that. And then about 15 seconds later, he's like, okay, it's Jay Glazer calling from Fox, because this is about 30 minutes before the game, 45 minutes before the game. They have now found out Simeon Rice is inactive and is gone and is not going to be there. So that's a dynamic where they had to say he's inactive. He's not playing in that instance, or they would have had to say at some point what the reason was that he was not playing. But in terms of strategy, just to bring it back to this, in terms of we've decided to go with a different running back, or we've decided to go with, we've benched this player, they're not obligated to do that, or we've shuffled our offensive line.
Yeah, exactly.
That's coaching strategy. So there you go.
I once when I was doing sidelines for 8, it was the last preseason game, and I get this text, hey, I heard Kenyatta walk from a very good source. Kenyatta Walker and Gruden got in a fight. I'm like, what?
Like back in the locker room, you mean?
Yeah, like, well, I'll finish the story. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, and it was early in the game. So I go over to the sideline. I'm looking for Kenyatta. There's no Kenyatta. And I'm like, where the fuck is he? And so I go over to Camus and I'm like, hey, where's Kenyatta? He's like, he didn't make the trip.
Uh-huh.
And this was like, we didn't know if he was going to, like, I think he was battling for a starting position at that point. Kenyatta, remember, had a very storied, first round pick. Was, kind of a
dubious
is a good word. Yes.
Offensive line story.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow. So did he get in a fight with Gruden? And I said, so I asked Camus, did he get in a fight with Gruden? He's like, where'd you hear that?
That's not a no. That's not a no.
I'm like, I'm laughing. I got sources. And he's like, all right, listen, man, we don't want to talk about this. And I'm like, all right. So I'm seeing now this is I'm the sports director at Channel 8 at the time. So now I'm working in the capacity as the sideline reporter for the Channel 8 broadcast. So now I'm kind of my journalistic ethics here, or I have to suspend them. It's kind of how it works. It's kind of weird, but so at that point I said, well, I guess we'll deal with it later. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about it after I'm like, so I could not report that on the air when they cut down to the sideline. Like, all I could report, he said you could say that he didn't make the trip. So I was like, oh, guys.
And had you been in a network role as the third person and found that out, different. Of course they're coming down to you, or they're coming down to me in that role, or Timmy or whoever, and you're going to report the news.
Yeah.
I
basically had to report that Kenyatta is not there. He didn't make the trip. And I basically said, but we don't know why, and we'll find out later.
Good
and I said, back to you guys, and that was it. That's what I said. So Chris and Rondé, Rondé wasn't doing it. I think it was Chris and Jaws were doing the games at that time, and I'm like, so then I found out that it was a verbal altercation that may have turned a little physical, and they said, and Gruden basically said, you keep your ass home. You're not even making the trip. So so these are, interesting things that you find out when you're on the road, which some things you could tell and some things you can't, And
he didn't have a career after the Bucs. He
basically
went to Canada, right? Like
that's correct. He did nothing. He did nothing. But this is the reason why whenever I come on with you, and I know you want to get to the game here for a few minutes before you get out of here, I am in the bag. I am not objective. I work for the team. Kids, they sign my check. I'm an employee. I call it mostly as I see it with the team, but I'm always going to have a positive spin. I want them to win every game, but it's not my job to break news. It's not my job to find out things.
That's my job.
Find out negative things. That's your job. Good luck to you. Good luck to the beat writers that cover the team. Good luck
so people know I never pressure you on stuff like this, and because I know your role. I've been in your role, and I know your role, and I'm not going to.
Let's just pull the curtain back. People love this. You called me off the air this morning and said, what are you allowed to talk about with the Barton stuff? And I said, I'll answer honestly everything that I can tell you. Yeah. And what I am honestly telling you on the galactically famous JP Peterson show that's seen everywhere all over the globe, online and elsewhere.
Malaysia.
I did not know. I didn't know. And they kept it quiet from everybody, including me on the offensive line.
And we're not saying there's anything untoward about it. I just think it's funny, and it's a great job by them. Great job. Their security is really good because
if the Atlanta Falcons had been practicing to have a situation or a play where Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins came out on the field at the same time, and Cousins threw a screen pass to Penix, who then threw a bomb, which, by the way, that happened against the Buccaneers with the New Orleans Saints and with Jameis Winston. They did that. They had Jameis sneak in the game. Yep. They threw him a swing pass, and then he bombed a ball down the field. You're under no obligation to tell anybody that you're up to shenanigans like that with your personnel and what you might do.
You guys know the famous Jimmy Johnson Cowboy story in the first Super Bowl against the Bills, right? So
Which one?
He's at his hotel room out in Pasadena, and he's watching local news coverage, and they're covering the Bills practice. And he's watching the practice, just the B-roll footage, right? Mm-hmm. He sees a shuffle pass And he's like, we've watched all of the game film on the Bills. They've never had a shuffle pass the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to his defensive coaching staff. You guys ever seen this? Dave wants to. Nope, never seen this before. All right, well, now we know. Sure enough, they tried it in the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys blew it up.
Exactly.
And it's crap like that, right? Like where you get your information, and had that B-roll footage, had the news crew never have been there, he never would have known.
That's a great.
I call bullshit on that, by the way.
Why?
I call because that ever since that story, coaches have had the ability to say you can't watch practice or you can't shoot B-roll, blah 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 blah. And going back to that story,
that's probably why.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not sure it happened. I think it's just Johnson trying to.
They were ready.
I don't know.
I don't doubt it.
I don't want cameras in my practice. See?
Let's put it this way: that wasn't what cost the Bills because they had 9 turnovers in that game, which is still a record. The Cowboys dominated
17
and destroyed them back in the heyday. But yeah, coaches will pick up an edge, however or wherever they can with this. All right, so on Sunday, 2 things. To be in that environment with how loud it was, especially the start Atlanta got off to, obviously, with the screen pass to Bijan Robinson and he scores the touchdown. I mean, we had talked before the game. You're probably going to take a body blow here. You're going to probably take a knockdown here at some point in the game. How do you respond? Such a veteran team. We keep talking about this. They were ready to withstand, know that it's a 60-minute game, and sure enough, it was a 59-minute, 58-second game, as I keep saying, right down to the end. And I'm going to roll with Baker Mayfield. He didn't have his best game, but, man, when the chips are down, how do you go against that guy? How do you go against that guy running for the first downs that he ran for in the second half? The weapons this team has, the leadership it has, be excited for a lot of reasons that they were able to pull that game out. And, what's interesting in the dynamic is they score the touchdown to take the lead, and I'm looking at everybody celebrating, and I'm happy because I got to do the postgame show. I want a happy postgame show 17 times in the regular season. I want them to be 17-0. But I'm going, they left a minute. They left a minute on the clock here. And I think Atlanta still had a timeout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is a ton of time. And so then Atlanta's driving, and you're going, oh, now all they need is a field goal to tie, a touchdown to win. But I had a pretty good vantage point as soon as he tried that field goal and it started shifting right. And I'm going, happy post game, happy plane ride. Like I said at the top of the show, we're all good with a win.
How about the play from your vantage point that Winfield makes on Washington, knocking that ball out?
Tremendous play where, again, he's got the awareness to see the little the hole shot, as they call it, down the sideline. And he read it. And that's why that guy is who he is. And you're paying him all that money. Because they had put time back on the clock. Now there's like 15 or 16 seconds left. If they complete that pass, they're going to run up and probably clock it and have a chance to run one play for a touchdown and maybe score a touchdown. And Winfield blew that up. So a great play. Again, this team is loaded with talented veteran players. I mean, Hall of Fame caliber guys with Evans and David, but Winfield's another one that's tremendously talented. You got backs in both White and Bucky Irving that are talented. You've got Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea up front. Hassan Reddick, you just saw the beginnings of what he can do. You want to see more of it as we go along. There's a lot to be encouraged about after week one.
Quick question. I don't know if you heard anything on the sideline, but during that final drive, they have the play to Bijan Robinson on the sideline where Vassier comes over there, tackles him. He gets him out of bounds.
Spins around, he kind of spins and steps out.
His foot just touches out of bounds.
Correct.
Right? And then they go and they spike the ball.
Correct.
They run a play.
Correct.
They go back to the play previous and say, wait a minute, he was out of bounds. I've never seen once a play is run.
I'm with you, but my understanding is in that circumstance, scrambling with replay review, not a coach's challenge. Had it been a coach's challenge situation, this would not have stood. But because it's replay review and the play was only a spike of the ball to stop the clock, the rationale is the clock should have been stopped correctly right before that. The only thing they did is spike it. Now, if he had dropped back to throw a pass, you talk about calling BS. You'd have called BS on that. On let's rewind to the previous play.
He could have challenged. He could have challenged the play. He didn't challenge the play.
In the final 2 minutes, you cannot. He challenged it up at the end.
That's right. Okay.
In the final 2 minutes, he could not. but that's the rationale that as long as it's a spike, that they can go
Is
back.
That part
and
of the
see
rule book, or is this how they interpret it?
I believe so. I believe it's part of the enforcement.
Because I've never seen that. Once you run a play, you can't go back.
Of course, we got so many things in the rule book that they don't adhere to anyway, that talk about a catch or not a catch.
But you have to. They have to have the ability to do that for situations just like that. Because teams are trying.
Then don't let them run the play. Stop the game.
I get it.
Buzz down and say we're looking at this.
I would rather them get it right.
Spike it.
I would rather them get it right.
Yeah, and they did get that one right, but believe me, there's 2 or 3 other ones where you're standing down there going,
that's true.
What?
Horribly officiated.
Wait a minute. We're going to overturn, and I know you got to go. We're going to overturn the Kyle Pitts catch at the beginning of the go-ahead touchdown drive. That's an incomplete ball. That's called incomplete on the field. And they've drilled it into us for 15 years.
Surviving the ground.
If you go to the ground and the ball is moving, it's an incomplete pass.
Right.
And now we're going to overturn the call and give them a first down with that happening.
Yeah.
What? Are we on Pluto? I'm standing down there in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
You're going back to plays earlier after we've spiked the ball, and we're
Pluto.
But in the end, it writes as 23-20. You don't apologize for it, and you move on. You move on to Monday Night Football.
As I've said many times, we were down three big players: Wirfs, Godwin, J-Mac. Baker was inaccurate. He was rusty. We had
shuffled the whole left side of the offensive line. Three
new starters on the offensive line, and we still played. We played our C game and still got a divisional win on the road. Get the hell out. Let's go.
I'm with you.
They should have started Kirk Cousins, just like we said.
Monday Night Football. Well, yeah. And now on to Monday Night Football, and we see what happens with the Texans. And
all right.
I pledge that I will be back. I don't know how coherent I will be on the Tuesday morning after the Texans game. Check in with me there, but I'll be on with you next week at some point. We'll see what happens.
Right. Thank you, brother.
All right. There you go.
Always good to be with you, boys.
All right. Always great stories. All right. Well, that's another hell of a show right there. That's 2 hours.
Always is.
That went quick. That went quick. What, new guest? Who just jumped in?
That? I don't know.
I don't know.
See anybody.
Big O's here though. Big O's here.
Oh, is he? I don't have a wide shot to show anybody.
Oh, well,
it's all right. It's all right.
Hold on. Big O. We'll bring
Timmy.
There it is.
Up, Big O.
Let me see.
Timmy Nakahoma.
Let me see if I have an extra camera here.
There
we go.
Don't worry about it. You don't need an extra.
There we go. There he is.
I've been on camera.
There's the back of him anyway. There he is.
Brother,
what's up? Look at that.
Let me tell you what the gun.
Let me tell you what's going on.
What's going on with the gun?
So we're doing Orestes Destrada podcast 2 coming up right after this.
Awesome.
I don't know.
A lot of stuff coming up.
What do we got? Tease me.
We got the NL West getting crazy. We got the Rays still trying to hold on there.
It's a disaster this weekend.
That was a disaster. But you've got got a lot of exciting things coming on. Some crazy by the ways with.
All right.
I've got some Japanese stories.
Oh,
yeah, a bunch of stuff.
All right. See that? That's all coming up on the the Big O Show, as we love to call it. Ashley loves the name, the Big O Show. So join us for that. All right, that'll do it for us here. Thank you all. Sorry we didn't get to all the comments. You guys are awesome. Appreciate that. We have no idea what's going on with Wander Franco. He got arrested again live on Instagram. Incredible. Yep. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. We will see you then. Peace.
Thank you.